This is Public Access Signals from the Other Side, Part 7. We are picking up the campaign after a couple week break. And so let's do a little bit of recapping just so that we know where we're at in time and space. So we have two active mysteries presently, the Starlight Kingdom and Zagreus. Starlight Kingdom, you have answered the initial question, and so you've determined that the anomaly is an alien intelligence, and so you have a new question of, well, what does it want? um, and it's a complexity 4, and it allows you to resolve the mystery by making contact with it and convincing it to leave. You currently have 2 clues remaining from your possible on this question. I will say that we're going to be picking up the campaign a few days after the previous events, and so the more and more people are showing up at Starlight Kingdom. Like it's becoming like almost like a little weird spacey commune situation as people are being drawn there to look at the lights and, to make contact with whatever's there. If this has bigger, more negative ramifications for the town, we don't know yet, but that's sort of where that's going right now. Zagreus is in there's quite a situation with Zagreus right now. So, couple of things. First of all, we have this person from this online forum called Adafoy85 who is stalking Sean, but maybe more than that as well. We got to figure out why Adafoy is doing this. That is a complexity 4 question and allows you to remove him as a danger. Zagreus itself, though, is very much in flux right now because Adafoy has stolen the cabinet from Galaxia Arcade. And so you have a brand new question there, which is complexity 2, which is where did he take it? Where did he take it? Can you get a hold of it? And then that allows you to go back to the other question, which was how do you unlock Zagreus's secret levels? None of these questions allow you to resolve the mystery. You've got to get through some layers here before you can even reach that. But you also only have 2 clues here as well. So Zagreus is really like a little bit behind. That's mostly because you all got waylaid quite a lot in the Zagreus mystery because of the Deep Lake Lurker sending a killer after one of the characters, after Ashley, I believe. Sean did find where we think Adafoy is hiding out, possibly an entrance into the little used sewer system beneath Deep Lake. And so that is something that we didn't get a chance to follow up on, though, because of the attack on Ashley. Sheriff Hanscom did get attacked by Adafoy when Adafoy stole the arcade cabinet. Now, we have an interesting situation here because I will go ahead and just tell you that Sheriff Hanscom is alive. He did not get killed. He has been in the hospital, however, for a few days. And so, Sean, you have access to him in the hospital. But he found the body of FG, the owner of the arcade. And right now, Sheriff Hanscom believes that whoever attacked him killed FG. Obviously, Sean, you know better. And so this is something that you're going to have to manage possibly a little bit, right? So that is, there's a lot going on there. And almost none of it has to do with resolving the mystery. So have fun. That's Zagreus and Starlight Kingdom. You have also watched 5 Odyssey tapes. Now, your characters are not aware of this, but the big man has went and made contact with something in the caves out in the remote part of the desert. And that thing has come across the threshold and is now in the world. So be aware of that as a thing that's going on. Taking a look at the latchkeys in terms of conditions, just loaded up on conditions. So have fun. Your characters are stacked with conditions. Some of the more interesting ones, I Dream of Deep Lake, for the ones who still have that, you can't clear that until you make your sacrifice. The Deep Lake Lurker being resolved does not have any bearing on that condition. So that is one thing to be mindful of. Next Victim is no longer in play, though, so you do get to clear that, Ashley. That's a good thing. Um, Nathan, you are marked by the anomaly. That could be a thing. And Topher, you're marked by Billy James, which we haven't seen much since you originally got that condition. But I like the idea of Billy James being a character still we have to kind of deal with, even though the Pine Rock Ridge is no longer being haunted by the monster. Also, while we're here talking about Topher, Topher, you made the sacrifice and are entitled to unmark the chromatic desert. Have you done that?
Yeah,
So you're back. And so,
with a dog.
yeah, Topher it shows up, I assume, like on the porch one day with the dog and Mr. W. And so, that was a fun little adventure on the other side that Topher got to have.
I
But
want to contribute a small narrative detail. I like to think that we're watching TV and there's actually like a sitcom on or something, and it's like Topher enters on the TV sitcom style with like the applause, but then the TV glitches and Topher enters through the actual door of a Rodenbecker.
I love it. I love it. Um, and then take a look at Sean. Sean, you got a lot going on. Yeah, you got a lot going on, Sean. You probably have the most like Ashley too has a lot going on. Everybody's got a lot going on. Nathan, actually, you probably have the least going on right now, but you're extra sensitive to everything, and so it all kind of balances out in the end, I think. Um, let's see. So, are there any questions or anything we want to be reminded of before we begin? Okay, then. Why don't we go ahead then and swing into our day phase, which this is a couple days after the events of last time. And I'm going to present a brand new mystery. I have not copied over the information yet, so you'll have to just kind of pay attention. But there's a lot to do in this mystery. The introduction, it's a lot of setup. The new mystery is called the Slumber Party Summoning Circle. Topher, you have a childhood friend who still lives in Deep Lake. Her name is Samantha Harrington. Back then, Samantha was a real hellraiser. Describe a time when Samantha got the two of you in deep trouble.
I think this was shortly after Topher first started watching TV Odyssey. I think that he and Samantha, mostly on like a dare, went up to the TV Odyssey station and like tried to poke around and got in just huge trouble with everyone who was there trying to film stuff because we were showing up in like the background of shots and things and ruining frames.
Nice. Samantha invited the Deep Lake Latchkeys, all of you, to her house for a slumber party for adults. You all attended, perhaps reluctantly. Let's paint the scene. How did Samantha decorate her house to invoke the feeling of a 1980s girls' slumber party?
An abundance of pink pillows, slightly torn open and ready to be have their feathers spread all over the place when a pillow fight breaks out.
I think when you arrived, there was a bowl by the door with scrunchies and leg warmers. And so everyone got kitted up as soon as you get in.
Um, Not necessarily, I think, decoration, but I think she's like playing a lot of like 80s hits to kind of set the tone for the mood.
A little bit of Tiffany, a little bit of what else would it be? It would be like Tiffany, be
Cyndi
a lot of
Lauper.
Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, yeah,
Bananarama.
Bananarama, yeah.
I think that there is a movie marathon playing on the TV. All the 80s hits.
Nice.
16 Candles.
16 Candles, yeah. Okay, love it. The slumber party was also attended by a few of Samantha's local friends, who I will introduce you to later. But it was mostly just an excuse to get together, drink, and catch up. Samantha did, however, plan a few classic slumber party activities and treats. You did prank phone calls, you did a game of girl talk, and there were even gift bags stuffed with Lisa Frank stickers and friendship bracelets, in addition to the aforementioned scrunchies and leg warmers. Near the end of the night, Samantha produced something extra special from her closet: a copy of The Crying Circle, a little known board game from the 1980s that was originally marketed as a competitor to Hasbro's Ouija board. The Crying Circle is actually a kit for performing a summoning ritual. It includes a game board that unfolds into an altar, a plastic athame, a cassette tape with discordant music and chanting on it, battery-operated candles, and the Tome of Sadness, a booklet with sad stories and question prompts that are posed to participants as they play. The idea is you set up your little summoning circle using the items in the box, and then take turns reading stories and prompts from the Tome of Sadness in order to get participants to cry. If everyone sheds at least one tear, La Llorona, a figure from Mexican folklore, will appear and grant the group a single wish. Samantha set up the game and then read aloud the opening invocation. La Llorona, gather our tears. We shed them for you, O Mother of Sadness. Show us you are near. Then everyone took turns reading from the Tome of Sadness. Everybody has to answer this question. Which question or story from the Tome of Sadness finally made you cry, if even just a little, and why?
I think there was a story about um, a girl who was like often left alone by her parents, but she had a very trustworthy dog. So whenever she got scared in her bed, she would put out her hand down, and the dog would lick it to show that it was there and she was safe. Um, and so one day she hears this weird creak in the house, and she puts her hand, but the dog licks it. So she's safe. And it goes on like this for a while until she goes um to the shower, and the dog is murdered. And in blood it says humans can lick too. And I think Ashley just started laughing like so hard. Like, that is just the worst story.
But you
What
shed a
does that
tear,
even
right?
mean? Yeah, she like starts laughing so hard she's crying.
One tear is all it takes.
I think Sean reads a story about a woman on the widow's walk of her house, waiting for her sailor's husband to come home from sea. And the story details how she waits for years and years, and he never comes home. And when he looks up, he's crying, and he's just, "This is so dumb. I'm sorry." And he'll walk away. And I imagine, just because he would have known the theme of the party, he's in a crop top.
I think Nathan, who I think of the Latchkeys is the one who most does not want to be here, is the one who gets a story that's about a young man, a little bit of a social outcast, who looks in mirrors frequently and sees the imperfections of his self, of his life, of all the things that he struggles with. In his reflection, he sees his lack of being able to connect with everything, and it involves, at one point, he ends up wishing that he were the reflection instead of the thing being reflected. And his wish comes true, and he becomes the inhabitant of the mirror, but realizes very much that, like everyone around him, he gets to watch them live reflected in his world, but he can't participate anymore. Even if he felt detached, now he's even more removed. And Nathan's mostly just bored and numb while reading this, of just like, oh, that was stupid. And he goes back and sits down in a corner. And then when he's like, kind of like, it like sits with him, it festers in him for a little bit, and it kind of makes him spiral and sheds a couple of tears, but like discreetly tries to like hide them so people don't notice that it made him cry.
I think that when it's Topher's turn to read, the story kind of glitches out a little bit as they read it, and it turns from a story about a little girl who went and got lost in the forest into a story about a little boy who is being followed by cameras everywhere he goes. And as soon as Topher starts reading about the cameras that no one else can see, they just start hyperventilating and crying a little bit because they were just there.
Nice. As the last story is read, as the last tear is shed, now we paint the scene. How do you know it worked? That you brought something into the world?
The TV that's playing all of the movies switch off and it's a live feed of the inside of the house.
The walls begin to cry, like water just begins to seep out of the plaster.
I think there's this cold chill at the nape of everyone's neck. And then I think for just a heartbeat, this very intense feeling of sadness, and more than that, wanting to make the thing that is making you so sad go away by any means necessary.
All of the noise from outside the house, the wind, the odd bird chirp, the crickets, it all goes quiet, and you can very distantly hear the sound of something crying.
Nice. One of the party attendees, Linnea Rodenbecker, went catatonic, blank-faced, seemingly unaware of her surroundings, and unable to speak. The party immediately ended. Samantha agreed to watch over Linnea for the rest of the night while everyone else went home. The next morning, Samantha comes to you for help. Linnea hasn't gotten any better and might be possessed by whatever you all brought into the world. The first order of business is to figure out what's possessing her. Is it a sorrowful ghost? Or is it something more demonic? And indeed, that is your first question. Is Linnea possessed by a sorrowful ghost or something more demonic in nature? It's a complexity 4, and it unlocks the next appropriate question. You also have an aspect or a key here called the Key of Sadness. Each latchkey narrates a flashback to a time when they experienced great sorrow, either their own or someone else's. What about that experience made you a stronger person? And so this is the new mystery. Linnea Rodenbecker spent the night with Samantha, behaving very strangely. Samantha has come to you, and specifically you, Topher, because you're her friend from way back when, and is like, there's something wrong, something's got her, and we did it. And so that's where things are at right now. Samantha eventually goes back to her house. to stay with Linnea. And here we are in our day phase. Sheriff Hanscom is still in the hospital. You have two other mysteries going on as well. Starlight Kingdom there's no immediate danger in Starlight Kingdom that you're aware of, though this thing out there definitely has power and it's exercising that power. And of course, Zagreus, a lot going on with Zagreus. So what is everyone wanting to do today? And also lots of conditions on the table as well. Nathan, what do you think about for this day phase?
I'm thinking Nathan feels weird after that slumber party. I think Nathan's most interested in doing some work on this slumber party sounding circle development. Starlight Kingdom is in the back of his mind, but he definitely, that feels like an immediate distraction, immediate concern. Especially with Topher back, I think Nathan is not so subtly trying to wallflower around Topher and like hover, and just his sign of being like, I missed you and I appreciate your physical presence, like wanting to hang around and latch on to Topher.
Well, speaking of Topher, I mean, Samantha is probably most looking to you specifically, Topher, to help out here. Although she kind of feels like you're all responsible. There were two other people at the party as well. The two other people at the party were two of her sort of like local friends, Corey Hammond and Lulu Cholula Rodriguez. So,
Cholula. That's such a good nickname.
And they're not at Samantha's anymore, but they are still in town.
Around,
obviously.
yeah.
So what do you want to do today, Topher?
Well, I think I gotta go help my friend, my homie, my gal. Gotta help her get rid of those demons or whatever.
So it sounds like maybe the two of you are going back to Samantha's, or
yeah.
Okay.
We can probably have a vulnerable scene as well, or a nostalgic scene.
Yeah, sounds good. Sean, what do you got planned for today?
I think before everyone leaves, leaning into the angry condition, he's going to softly yell at everybody, we know this town, we know this place, and we still did this stupid game. And then I think he's going to plan on going to the hospital. But I am also, my truth is out there move gets me a clue.
Oh, yes. I always forget about that.
I find a thing.
Who defines that? You or me?
I think I'll ask you.
Okay, and let's see here. Let me just read it. Oh, okay. Oh, very good. Oh, it's like a free roaming clue, right? That
Yes.
can be, you can kind of assign to a mystery as you make meaning out of it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Okay, I've got it. Someone leaves a blank VHS at the door. It's in the same clamshell as an Odyssey tape, but it has no label, and it is fully blank. So you're otherwise going to the hospital?
Yep, going to visit and maybe bring a little care package.
Sounds good. Ashley, what are you up to today?
I think Ashley is gonna check out more stuff about Zagreus because that was messed up, and also I kind of don't want to go to jail, so I need to,
get to the bottom of it,
Yeah.
and make it look like someone else committed murders.
Exactly. I need to frame somebody for murder, as you do.
As one does. Well, where are you going to start?
Sorry, say again.
Where are you going to start? Like, where are you going to go?
I think I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that I too like saw the entrance that Sean discovered, so I think
You
I
did.
want to go in there and see
Oh, okay.
if there's more stuff there.
Sounds dangerous, but good. All right, I love it. Why don't we go ahead and do the scene between Topher and Nathan on the way to Samantha Harrington's house? Whoever is going to be waxing nostalgic, go ahead and frame up that scene.
I'll let you wax nostalgic if you want, if you got an idea.
For sure. So I think that maybe this is before we even start walking out, because I think that Topher's still in their room, and they are trying to focus on playing a game on their computer. They're playing Rogue, obviously. It's their favorite game. They even have a fucking tattoo of it on the back of their hand. And I think that as Nathan's like walking by, getting ready to wallflower about, he notices that like there are a lot of random sheets hung up in seemingly like no place. Like it's not blocking anything, but the sheets are still hanging there, and you can tell that Topher's taking great care not to move any of them.
Like sheets, as in just like bed sheets, just strung about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that cause he does the thing where like he walks by the bedroom door and then like steps back into it to like peek and be like, what did I just look at? Like glances in, looks at the sheets.
Hey,
Oh, hey. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
it's the sheets, right? You're looking at the sheets.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sheets.
Yeah. So I've kind of been having a hard time getting to sleep since I came back.
Yeah, okay.
It's you know how I was telling you about the cameras?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I was in, I saw like where
Oh.
all of them were. I don't.
Oh.
It kind of feels like I'm being watched when I sleep, and I don't like it. So
Yeah, no, okay. That suddenly makes us make a lot more sense. I understand that completely. I would probably do the same thing. How are you doing? Sorry, that was a weird segue. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm doing. Honestly, I have no fucking idea. I'm just happy that I found my dog somehow. Mr. W, um, Pitbull. I had him, and as Topher says his name, he kind of pokes his head out from behind one of the sheets, like wags his tail. Uh, and Topher cringes a little bit seeing the sheet move, but doesn't otherwise do anything about it.
Oh.
And
We have a dog now. That's is can I pet him?
yeah, he loves it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. Well, my mom got him for me a while ago, actually. Like a long time ago. I'm said he ran away. Somehow I think he got lost in whatever I was lost in. Because when I don't know, I found him a while ago in that place. I don't know how. Not any older than he was when he left either. It's kind of strange, but I'm glad to have him back.
I didn't have any pets when I was a kid. And Izzy was allergic when we were together, so I, I I begin to like rub Mr. W's belly, like kneels down and is like giving him a lot of attention. And actually, Nathan, as he's talking to Topher, focusing on a dog and not having to look at another person while communicating with them, Nathan is significantly more conversational than he normally is. And he's saying, but you just found him. That's like just there. He just showed up. That's
Pretty much. I mean, shit, I didn't even really find him. He did. He found me. I think he knew that I was where he was, and I don't know. I
so,
guess he missed me.
so
I
do you
missed
like,
him.
do you like, do you like feel different? Is that like ever since you come back, do you feel like something's happened?
So,
No.
sort of. You remember when we were, well, I mean, when you were at the diner, I was there too. You couldn't see me.
Yeah, no, I remember the whole time loop thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the 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 owner of the bar, the person who was working the juice bar, um, the whole I am signals thing. I don't know if you heard that
I did.
or
Well,
any of
I
that, but
understood, relayed. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's kind of freaking me out a bit. I don't
Reasonably so.
necessarily know what to do about it. Being a time loop, being in one. I'm not sure what it is.
Topher,
I don't know.
I think I'm not the best person to lead with my head or my thoughts. Those often lie pretty strongly to me, but I've been thinking a lot lately, especially since you've come back. I came here thinking that there was weirdness and mystery, but it was still just a small town. Like, I've been to 100 small towns, and this is just a small town with weird things. But this is not a small town with weird stuff. This is a weird town. This town is doing things to us. I don't understand what's going on. I feel like I'm recognizing things before they happen. I keep getting hunches. I keep getting gut feelings. And the last few days, these last couple of weeks, they've made me feel just like nothing is normal. And I guess maybe that's why I agreed to do the slumber party in the middle of all this stuff. It made no goddamn sense for us to do that, but that was the most normal feeling thing. And even that ended, but I don't know what else we expected.
Honestly, same here. I was kind of hoping for a normal night for once.
Yeah, I don't think we get that. And I'm worried that, I don't know, this is unfounded, but it's something I've been scared of for the last recent stretch of time. I feel like if I got in my car and just decided to leave, I'm going to drive down I-10, and then I'm going to find myself right back in the town. I have this fear that I'm not going to be able to escape, and that none of us can actually leave, and that everything is going to get, I don't know. But
I've had something similar going on. I don't think any of you were there, but there was one of the TVs in one of the places we were looking into. I don't remember which one at this point. There's kind of been a lot going on, but you remember that Blam tape we watched?
I would rather not remember that Blam tape.
No, me too. Trust me. I got kind of shunted into there for a while.
My God, did you meet Leo?
I shoved a Reese's peanut butter cup into his head.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
how
what
to-
to do. He said he was hungry, and I had Reese's.
Okay, Topher. So I've been told by Sean and Ashley and the internet that I should communicate my feelings as they come up. So I'm just going to tell you right now that I'm pretty sure I am experiencing a shutdown. So just communicating that with you right now. I feel a spiral hearing that. So just letting you know. I'm going to do the unhealthy thing and compartmentalize that. And so I can continue to have this conversation with you. Okay,
Well,
communicated.
maybe we should go talk to Daniel Kwan, right?
God, I hope that kid's okay. Look,
Me too.
I think what we should do is ignoring all that.
Well, maybe not what we should do, but
Well, yeah, what we should do is leave, but what I think let's maybe tether ourselves a bit stronger to that anchor of possible normalcy and go hang out with Samantha and check in on Linnea. Something, maybe we can help her. We just need to figure that out.
Oh shit! Goddamn fucking ice monster killed. Ugh! I was so close to getting the. Sorry.
Sorry, no, that's my
Rogue.
fault.
No,
I
no.
distracted you.
It's
I'm
turn
divorced.
based. It's
I'm
turn
divorced.
based.
I
Literally
fucked
my
up.
fault. Literally
I fucked
turn
up.
based.
I threw you off your game. I threw you off your game.
I love it. I feel like probably. Are you clearing IM signals, Topher?
For
Or you
now.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And Nathan.
Starstruck makes sense to me, I
Starstruck.
think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Tethering myself to the familiar.
Indeed. And Nathan, you get to define it. You get to stumble on a clue as well. So
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
be thinking about
I
what that
have
is.
I have another one of those for Starlight Kingdom that I have yet to actually define.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I mean, be thinking on it. Okay, great. Let's cut over to Sean at the hospital. I think like when you get there, you see Sheriff Hanscom is laying in his hospital bed. He's got a bandage wrapped around his head, but he also doesn't have a shirt on, and he's got a bandage like kind of like tied around his shoulder and chest, and it kind of sort of kind of like highlights his pectorals. And he's like, "Oh, hey, it's good to see you."
Yeah, hey, I can come back later if
No, it's
this isn't a
okay.
good time.
No, come in. It's good. I think this is my last day here. I think they're letting me go tomorrow, with any luck.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, be good to have you back on your 2 feet doing police things.
We got to figure out what happened to FG. I mean, whoever knocked me out, it's probably because they probably got scared because I saw their handiwork with FG, and then they just panicked and ran. And but we're just so understaffed. I mean, small county, small sheriff's department. If I just had some kind of lead, like who would want to do that? Who would want to murder an old man?
Uh, Sean will kind of think for a minute and say, well, I mean, this is probably just the guy that slashed my friend with the box cutter. Is he
I
accounted
think I
for?
want the day move for you to like do this lie with the sheriff. What do you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
It's going to be too obvious that I'm fishing here.
Yeah, I think it's probably right. Go ahead and roll with composure. Yeah, composure.
An 8.
Right. I have to tell you how you'll be vulnerable. I'll be vulnerable. You'll be vulnerable because he will. I think he's going to notice that. I think your anger condition is going to come out, and I think he's going to notice that and question you about it.
Sound good?
All right. So he says, "Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but I mean, but like, well, out of character, wasn't he locked up? That guy?
Yeah.
He
I wasn't sure
was.
what happened to him. Like he may have been
I
for a
think he
bit, but he
was.
might have been released.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I got the vibe that he was in the drunk tank, basically.
yeah. He's like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I had to let that. He's like, I had to let that guy go. I mean, it was just, your friend wasn't that hurt, and I think that kid was on drugs. I'm not really sure what. In any case, his parents called. It was a whole thing that day. But I mean, attacking the arcade. I don't know. I guess it makes the most sense. He's the only. I don't know. I guess it makes the most sense.
There's
Anywhere
something
else,
else,
anyway.
actually.
What?
Something weird. It's probably nothing, but so there's this forum that I'm on, and they were really excited about Zagreus. And someone kind of sent me some messages that were, well, they were a little weird. They knew I was coming to Deep Lake and warned me against looking into the game.
He's like, is this what's been going on with you? You seem a little, I don't know. I mean, you seem a little like kind of out of sorts. Like you're kind of just pissed off. I mean, is it this person? Are you being stalked right now?
I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it stalked, but I am pissed off. You said you offered to take me on a ride along. And I said no. And then this happened. And I left my friend Ashley, and then that happened. And every time I leave someone, something bad happens to them. And I'm getting really fucking sick of it, actually. Sorry. Sorry.
Tell me more about this guy online. What else do you know?
Just the username. Adafway85.
Go ahead and roll the meddling move to see if he can put 2 and 2 together for you. With presence.
Yeah, that's about right. That's a 4.
It's a 4. He says, "What's that in your..." And I think, like, do you carry like a bag or something? Like a...
Yeah, I think he'll have a bag today.
He's like, "That's one of those tapes." I think he sees that blank one. Maybe he just stuck it in there on the way out. He's like, "Can I see that real quick?"
Yeah. It was actually just on the doorstop. He'll dig it out.
He like pops it open and he's like, "There's no label. The little plastic bit is still over the part where the tape..." I don't think this has been recorded over. I think this is a blank tape.
Yeah, weird, right?
He's like, "Well, not as weird as this." And he pulls out the little liner. And this is the actual clue from earlier. The actual clue from earlier is the inside liner of the tape has a topographical map of the region on it. He's like, "That's kind of funny."
I didn't take much time. Wow, that's okay. Yeah.
He's like, "Tell you, things get weirder and weirder around here." And he slides the paper back in, and then he closes it up and hands you the tape back. Your free-floating clue is the topographical map. You get to put the tape, the blank tape gets to go into your corner of the house. There is a special rule attached to this blank tape. That special rule is you can mark it before you do a die roll to get an automatic 12 plus on that die roll. But then you take a condition called "somebody's watching me." And then more things happen after that, but that's the initial bit.
Great. Sean will say, "Well, actually, I brought you something. I didn't know how long you were going to be here." And he's going to pull out a old, really beat up paperback of The Warlock of Firetop Mountain.
Oh no.
And he said maybe it'll, keep you busy for a bit, get your mind off things.
He's like, "Is this like one of those choose your own adventure books?"
It's way cooler than that, but yeah.
He's like, "I somehow doubt it's way cooler than anything, but I appreciate the gesture."
Well, I should get going, but yeah, I'll call you later, maybe.
Sure, yeah. Sounds good.
Great. Okay. Yeah, feel better.
Ashley, you are at the Galaxia Arcade, which now has police tape over the front door, but there's no active investigation at this moment. You do notice a couple of people come up like to the door every now and then because they don't know that the arcade's been shut down. They just know that they have Zagreus, and then they're disappointed when they find out that they can't go in to see Zagreus. So that's the thing that's kind of happening. But yeah, there's this, you going straight to that sewer entrance. Is that the plan?
Yeah. I'm not going to rip out police tape.
Good. So when you go down that ladder, you are in a network of utility tunnels that run beneath the town. Their existence suggests an apparent purpose. I mean, after all, why would there be steam tunnels if the town did not have use for them? But upon closer inspection, you'll notice that the wiring, the pipelines, and the drainage don't connect to anything in Deep Lake. It's like they got built and then not used, which is very weird. You might even remember your parents back in the day talking about this. They simply exist. An underworld labyrinth that, if you spend enough time in it, you'll discover connects the whole town in interesting ways. But let's paint the scene, everyone. The tunnels are covered with graffiti. Which image, if you were down there, would you be drawn to most? What about it would frighten or amuse you?
I think there is a surprisingly detailed uh, continuous line that looks like red thread, almost so realistic you could almost pluck it off the wall. And the fact that it seems to go continuously and never double back on itself, the care and detail of whoever made this is somewhat concerning.
There is a figure graffitied on the wall with just this extremely exaggerated smile, jagged teeth, lips that are far too red. And I think what frightens Ashley about it is that for a second, she didn't realize it was supposed to be frightening.
There is a crude but still somewhat striking depiction of a stick-like figure, long, kind of exaggerated limbs, kind of triangular torso, and the head is just this spiral of red and yellows and sunburst patterns. And it's interesting to look at, but it's made amusing because someone has tagged over top that with graffiti that reads, "The big man owes me money."
I love it. Oh, sorry, I muted you, Steph.
All good. I think that there is a kind of going with that general theme. There are small, like, basically tags of renditions of CCTV cameras all across the place.
Very nice. So, Ashley, you're down here in these tunnels that get used for no purpose, but that are quite extensive in the town, nevertheless. And it seems like the young people come down here from time to time. What do you do?
I think first I want to see if there's a way to get like from here to get into the arcade if it does connect at some point.
No, I think the connection is just the alleyway. That's the way into the
Mm.
arcade, or that's the as
Yeah.
close as it gets to the arcade.
Then I think I'm going to start following the graffiti and I want to see where does it end? Where do people not go?
Go ahead and make the meddling move with composure.
Composure is an 11.
11, nice. we'll go ahead and just give you your clue. You are down there in the tunnels, looking at the graffiti, initially following the graffiti, but then something else becomes a trail to follow. Arcade tokens dropped on the ground. Intentionally? Or perhaps they were in a sack with a hole and they just fell out one by one. But that is your clue, and it's also a thing you can keep following if you want.
Yeah, Ashley will absolutely do that.
Let's cut over to Nathan and Topher. Samantha Harrington's house, the day after, is, there are still pizza boxes and empty beer cans from the slumber party kind of strewn about. She has a Britney Spears poster in a prominent place, like in the living room, a weird place for such a poster to be. And there's also Mr. Max, a very confused and slightly annoyed tabby cat. He has not stopped being annoyed since last night. It's all very irritating to him. Let's paint the scene, everyone. Samantha Harrington never made it out of Deep Lake. What do you see that makes you think she desperately wants to be somewhere else?
I think she has her room all decorated in like this very bohemian style, in like what she thinks people who travel a lot and are like very fancy and out there in the world, like what she perceives their aesthetic to be, even though it's like very clear from little details that it's not something that she innately grasps. It's like trying to imitate something.
Lots of coffee table books on so many other places, a lot of them for other cities in the US, other countries, other places to see. They are been read through many times, and they are a constant reminder.
There is uh, like, I think that uh, she has a subscription to a like homes and gardens type magazine, but it's all about homes and gardens in different countries from the U.S.
Nice. We don't have Sean at the moment, so we'll just keep going. Samantha meets you all there. She's there to meet you. She looks really tired, like very, very exhausted from the night's events. She's wearing an oversized sweater and still has her hair scrunchy from last night and some dramatic, though somewhat bleeding eye makeup. She has like a really prominent kind of like snaggletooth, which was which was kind of cute on her back in the day, but I think nowadays it kind of gives her a sort of childish look almost that I think she resents. She's like, we got a problem.
What happened?
She's
Is
gone.
Lenny okay?
Yeah, she's gone.
Wait.
Gone where?
She said she had to go back home, back to the ranch, Rodenbecker Ranch. I was like, no, you should stay here because I definitely don't want Daryl Rodenbecker to see his daughter in a sort of half catatonic state. But she insisted. And she walked the whole way, walked down the street, just like a zombie.
Did she put her shoes on at least?
No, she just like left and walked out, and I I was gonna follow her, but then I knew you were coming over, so I
Wait, why didn't you like call Topher when that happened? I mean, we
you're
were
here
already on our way
now.
over.
Well, you're here now, so
Yeah, but we could have maybe kept an eye out for her on the street if she was walking around. Did she
My
drive here
phone's
last
been
night?
acting a little weird since I
Okay.
fell in the lake.
Yeah, no, I
And
get that.
Topher kind of like side eyes Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan ignores that. uh, wait, okay, so did she drive here last night?
yeah, her car is still out front.
So she just walked.
She just walked. She's walking back to Rodenbecker Ranch.
I mean,
okay.
did she leave her keys? Maybe we could take her car back there for her.
I
mean-
yeah, I mean she's probably back there by now, but
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
If her
true.
keys are still here, Topher and I can just drive over and use that as an excuse. Just like, oh, we're returning her car. Just get over there. So what's this about Daryl Rodenbecker?
well, that's her
I don't
dad.
really know the
He's
Rodenbeckers.
Daryl Rodenbecker is, oh my god, he is the biggest piece of shit in Degoya County. Okay,
Okay.
that son of a bitch thinks he runs everything around here just because he's got Rodenbecker money. And then the way he treats Linnea like she's his precious little doll. You know, he made her do all that purity ball shit when she was little.
Purity
Creep shit.
ball?
Yeah, it's like when you like little girls like dress up in white dresses and then they like promise to save their virginity and then they dance with their dads. It's really fucking weird. Okay.
Yeah, that's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a gigantic piece of shit and he hates my guts. It's probably best if I don't go.
And probably, yeah, should not have him find anything out. Definitely makes sense that, yeah, okay. Yeah, then I think Topher and I, we could just return her car. I mean, at the very least, if her dad's home, like,
Oh, that's a good excuse. Yeah. Like you were
yeah,
just
it's a good
bringing this car
excuse.
back. Yeah. Okay.
Just bring the car back. Like, yeah,
Okay.
we can
Cool.
say that. I mean, like, we're all grown ass adults here. We can just say that Linnea was hungover. Like, she drank too much last night and was hungover, walked home, and we just were returning her car for her because she didn't feel safe driving.
It's great. Love it. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shower and
Yeah.
just text me when you know she's okay.
No. Yeah. Did anything?
You should give Nathan your number.
Yeah.
Aforementioned, my phone stopped working. I fell
Yeah.
in the lake.
My phone's working fine. So here's my number. Relay that. And did anything weird happen overnight with her? I mean, aside from after we left, was she just quiet the whole time still, or?
Well, Corey stayed a little bit longer after you all left. And
Right.
So did Cholula, but reluctantly.
Mm-hmm.
It got. Go ahead and make the meddling move with presence here.
Will do. Let me put this presence. Yeah. Okay. I'm just 2d6 flat.
Could we say that could I potentially have like Mr. W, not even have him do anything, but like there's a cat and a dog in the same house. They're probably going to be getting up to something. And I think that maybe that might be like distracting for Samantha and she might slip up on something if she's trying to keep something that she doesn't necessarily want.
I like
to say.
that. Yeah, I'll take it if you want to mark it. If you want to mark it, yeah, go for it.
I guess to roll an extra die. Oh boy.
Yeah, and
go for it.
because of my move, I don't have to mark Mr. W.
Hey.
Oh, there you
Oh.
go. Yeah, nice.
Cool. I'll roll an extra one. Same numbers, so I'm good. 9.
All right. I'll give you a clue when we get back from our break,
Cool,
which
sounds
we will
good.
take right now. Let's take a 5-minute break.
Cool.
Just so we have it on the recording. Sean, you can go ahead and clear angry condition after your conversation with Sheriff Hanscom. He's not a latchkey for nostalgic move purposes, but good enough for, I think, to clear that one. Let's cut over to Nathan and Topher real quick. Samantha doesn't have actually anything to share, but apart from just like general, like it was just weird all night. Mr. W and the cat are like chasing each other in the living room, and she has all those like travel books, the big like kind of coffee table books, and I think Mr. W like leaps or attempts to leap over the coffee table, but of course it's a bulldog, so they're not jumpers. And so he sort of like goes sliding across the coffee table and spills the books out. And one of them drops down, and it is not a travel book. It is a coffee table sized like reproduction or like kind of um uh yeah, it's a reproduction of an ancient medieval text called the Codex Gigas. That's a real thing in history. This is like a sort of like a shrunk down coffee table size like reproduction thing that they made. You know, it has historical notes and other things about it. But the Codex Gigas was a lot of different things in medieval history, but principally it was thought to be like the devil's Bible, basically. So, and Nathan, you'll notice that book. You'll notice it, and that's your clue. What do you do when you see it?
Yeah, I clock that as strange. I like. I think Nathan will actually address that. Just kind of like kneel down at like. Well, he's helping put the things back because the dogs and cat have made a mess of everything. Just put things. And he like lifts out one and picks it, like looks at it, like quirks an eyebrow, just like, light on the occult reading.
She's like, I don't know. It looked cool. It was just something I picked up at the store.
Fair enough. I flip through it, just take a little gander. Do you mind if I like take this with me, or
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, fine.
all right, cool.
Yeah, cool. Okay, Mr. Max, come on. And she's
yeah. Come on, W. Stop chasing the cat. We're fine. We're fine.
She's like, what does Mr. W stand for anyway?
Mr. Worldwide. He's a pit bull.
Oh, right. Got it.
I was pretty happy with that when I came up with it when I was like 5, but you know.
Yeah, clever. Actually, well, she would know this actually because she was your friend, right? If you had him that long. She's like, oh,
probably,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wait, but okay, so timeline thing. When you were 5 years old, Pipple definitely was not a thing in the world. So you have come up with that name since then.
Pitbull stole it from your dog.
Stolen valor.
Pibble was probably only like 6 or 7.
Pitbull is the big man.
I do like the idea of, in the ensuing years, you have decided that's where the name came from. Or will. I'm still not convinced Pitbull is a thing in 2004, but I haven't looked it up yet.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either.
Years active is listed as 2000 to present. So
okay, all right. Yeah.
4 years in. 4 years in.
Yeah. Topher just knows the musical deep cuts, I guess, in 2004. Good. Okay.
Yeah, then we'll take Samantha's keys and head over to Rodenbecker Ranch.
Yeah, sounds good. Sean, what do you do when you're done with Sheriff Hanscom?
Knowing that Ashley has gone to the tunnels, I think he would also be heading that way. He's got to solve this mystery.
Yeah. I think when you get to the tunnels or when you get to the arcade, you see a woman, a older woman, trying to peek into the arcade windows. It's hard because they're kind of tinted. Let me describe her for you. She has kind of shoulder-length hair, a little split at the ends, and she's wearing a red leather jacket and black jeans. She's probably, she's a little older than you, but not much, I guess we'll say. She's probably like in her 30s or so. And she has very dark circles under her eyes. She looks like she's been up for a while. And she startles a little bit when you kind of come around the corner. She's like, oh. She sees your shirt. And she says, oh, I guess you're a gamer, huh?
Oh, yeah, but they're closed. There was an accident.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. She's like, and you can see now that she's actually probably your age, but she's just she's had a few miles of hard road. She has kind of a rough look about her. She's a hard 25. Um, she says, "I'm Angela."
Hey, I'm Sean. He'll
I'm
offer a hand to shake.
Angela Hoskins.
Oh, cool. I'm Sean Thompson.
Oh, so okay. Hoskins as in Dieter Hoskins.
Oh, okay. Younger sister, I guess.
Yeah,
Younger
yeah.
sister.
Younger sister, actually. Um, yeah, I just, you know, I heard about the Zagreus cabinet and I came to look.
Right. Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry, first off, about your brother, but also the cabinet's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
Something happened a couple nights back, and the cabinet's not here anymore. The owner was killed. It's a whole
Killed?
thing. Yeah.
Jeez, that explains the police tape, I guess. Jesus. This is Jesus. I think they should
Yeah.
round up every one of those Zagreus cabinets and burn them in a fire.
Oh, I mean, there can't be that many of them, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
Are you? Do you don't think this has something to do with? Get whatever you're looking for here. Maybe I can help.
Yeah, maybe you can. I I kind of heard well, I kind of heard about like a group of people here in town who were looking into mysteries around the town, and then the Zagreus cabinet reappeared. And uh, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I I've been watching you and your friends.
Uh, Attaboy 85.
Who? What?
Okay, never mind. Right. So yes, I am part of that group of people. There's weird stuff going on, and we're trying to learn some stuff, I guess.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I I know it's been a long, long time, and I don't know if my brother and his friends are ever if we'll ever be able to figure out what happened to them. But if you're if you're willing to look into it, I or help me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can help each other.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, what are you
Well,
doing here right now?
I was here yesterday. I was hoping to get a chance to play the game, but then everything, or a couple days ago, everything happened, and I found. Well, here, come around back with me.
She's like, "Oh yeah, your friend went down into the tunnels. I was watching her."
Red hair.
That's the one.
Yep, tunnels. I'm going the tunnels.
Cool. Yeah, we could do that. Let's go down in the tunnels and figure out the mystery of Zagreus.
Or at least find my friend.
Yeah. So those little pyramid thing on your shirt, you must be a big fan of Cubert, I guess.
Well, yeah, but unrelated. Zelda. No.
Right.
Okay.
No. Yeah, no. I'm just teasing you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I think Sean will be walking back and assumably seeing that the tunnel is already exposed.
Indeed. Yeah, you can definitely go down there. Speaking of, Ashley, you're now following some coins. Now, I do want to point out here, as a little mechanical observation, which I think is worth pointing out, the finding the arcade cabinet is only a 2 complexity question, and you're in like a prime spot to possibly find it. And this is not resolution of the mystery, so you can answer and pursue the opportunity right away. So if you all wanted to come up with a quick answer to this question, maybe Ashley could stumble onto the arcade cabinet. That's a possibility.
Could be cool. Yeah.
And that would be awesome.
Let me look at the clues that we have.
Yeah, and I have I'm gonna ascribe my nostalgic clue from Topher and I scene to Zagreus. I think it's gonna be something that he clocked on Rogue since Topher was playing that. And I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. It's going to be this is a strange one, but I think it like strange in terms of how it might apply. But he noticed Nathan took notice of the input lag between action and reaction on the game, and noticed how there is typically a few seconds different, and this applies to like a lot of games, between intention and resolution. So like it's just kind of like a more of like a mechanical video gamey clue of like input lag is a thing that can be manipulated in games.
Nice.
And I put my truth is out there clue from last time to Zagreus. Feels like a pretty clear sign that that Attafoy is familiar with the tunnels.
What was the clue last time?
Sean found a VHS tape with an image of a person in a bull mask giving a tape to Mr. W and then going to an alley behind the arcade and disappearing.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. So this just confirms that it is probably down here, basically, right? If you were to use it for that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And then the tokens is probably a great clue for just like
Absolutely.
it is where the tokens lead. Yeah. Which would be two clues on the complexity too, which is not,
If we want to
bad.
do 3, but we might want to keep it for another question. But I think maybe the one that where the someone playing the game found his character step to death 6 times in a row. Maybe the coins like end at this tunnel, and there's just like kind of in the middle there's a knife, and I have to like take it and stab a certain part like 6 times, and then something clicks open.
I love it. That's really good.
How video gamey. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is too meta of me as the mysteries writer to imply, but can I throw in there that this trail is leading to the offices of Vertex Electronica?
Oh yeah, well, we know that Vertex Electronica is in the is in town. Yeah, I like that. I mean,
And that's where the cabinet's hidden back at the developers.
Yeah, we can
office.
totally add that little clue. Like this would open up whatever it opens up. It opens up into the entrance to the tunnels from Vertex Electronica. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, if my
That's
fellow
pretty
latchkeys
cool.
are into that, yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. It's a +1 on the roll. So why don't you go ahead and roll it, Ashley?
Right. That is a 9. Oh, +1, right?
+1. Yep.
Yeah, 9.
9.
9.
Very good. Yeah, I think this works. You're following the coins. The coins lead, or the tokens lead to a knife, and the knife is pointing at what appears to be like a portion of wall that is plainly a different color than the surrounding wall. And then you take the knife over and you see the slot, and remembering the little bit from the video game, you stab. And each time you stab, you feel like the knife gets deeper each time until the end. And then the door, something unhatches or uncatches, and then the wall swings open, revealing stairs going up. At this point, Ashley, you'll probably hear Sean and Angela Hoskins coming down into the tunnels from some distance away still, but you hear them. Do you wait for them or do you proceed?
I think I take the knife and then I wait to see who it is.
Very good. We'll come back to this. Rodenbecker Ranch. Rodenbecker Ranch. The home of Linnea Rodenbeckers, of all the Rodenbeckers, in fact. There is a gate at the front of a long gravel driveway. The Rodenbecker Ranch symbol, which is a stylized RBR with a snake winding through the letters, emblazoned on it. The ranch is a single-story home with a rustic interior, but it's nearly palatial in size. It's huge. We'll paint the scene in a bit as you get further in, but getting past the front gate is no trouble, especially because you're in Linnea's car. And I think as you are pulling up, a young man who is wearing a black hoodie, black guy liner, black combat boots, looks like he's about 19. He kind of marches out and he's like, Linnea, Jesus. He's like, what? Wait. And he's like, who are you?
Hi.
I'm Topher. This is Nathan. We're Samantha's friends. Were dropping off Linnea's car. She was too drunk to drive home this morning. She was hungover.
Well, yeah, she was too hungover to comfortably drive home, and so she
walked.
Well,
Well,
she
I
said she was
know
walking
she's
home.
here. I know. Yeah, she's here. She's up.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
She's up with
Okay.
crazy cousin Dolores. But
Okay. Yeah, so we were just returning her car for her because we just want to check it. One, because she didn't feel comfortable driving, and two, because we just want to make sure that she's feeling okay.
I don't think feeling okay is how I would describe her current state.
Yeah,
She's acting really
she was
fucking
really-
strange, actually.
She was really hungover this morning. She drank a little bit too much last night.
Or a lot too
Yeah.
much.
A lot too much.
That explains all the vomiting. Okay. Well, great. So, thanks.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Do you mind
you
if
need-
we?
Do you need to?
Yeah, can we like hop out and get some water? It's kind of we didn't bring any.
Hot day.
Um,
Her air conditioning's on the fritz.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. But,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Fine.
Thanks.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know Linnea again?
Topher is a friend of one of Linnea's friends. I'm a friend of Topher. There was a party last night that we were all at. That's how we know each other.
Cool.
Sort of like a know a guy who knows a guy type thing, you know.
Yeah, in case I'm the
Yeah.
guy who knows this person who knows. Yeah.
Oh, you got a dog too. Cool.
Yeah, no, that's Mr. W. He's nice. He won't do anything unless there's like a cat. He'll probably chase it around and try to play with it. But you know,
we can't. We can't keep animals around the ranch. Ironically
not?
enough, it's cousin Dolores. She's real funny with animals.
Do we need to leave him in the car or rather outside?
No, I think as long as he just leaves eventually, it'll be okay.
Okay.
It's the animals that hang around longer that it becomes kind of a problem.
So, I take it you're Linnea's younger brother.
Yeah. I'm Silas. Silas
Silas.
Rodenbecker. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, right on.
My other sister's here too. Trinity Rodenbecker is here as well.
All right. Cool. So we'll just go inside then.
Yeah. Water, sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
I
As
love the
you-
guy liner, by the way.
He's
Good
like,
stuff.
yeah, thanks. My dad fucking hates it, which is why I keep doing it.
Hell yeah. Stick it to him.
Yeah.
Let's paint the scene now. What here, as you go through the house, shows that the Rodenbeckers are one of the oldest families in Degoya County. I mean, the street you live on currently is named after them.
There
I
is
think-
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
There is a alcove in like their palatial foyer front, door area. This alcove houses a like relief carving on display, like something that was cut from like a sandstone building. That's like this is something that should be in a museum, but it's like a relief carving from some adobe sandstone structure that is just displayed prominently in the entryway of their house, depicting just like old cultural stuff.
I think as you walk through the hallway, it is just the walls are lined with old pictures, like almost like a chronological feed of all their achievements. Like it starts with a picture of the Goya County, just like we're gonna build here, and then some houses, and then more and more and more, and they're like a bunch of companies that they bought, stuff that they bought, the family, just like this display of all their achievements.
As you pass the kitchen, there's a segment kind of cut out of the countertop area where there's an old water pump on a tiled area of the floor. This is actually from the original house built here, and they've just built around it.
Nice. Was that everybody? Or did you go, Topher?
No, I was writing down what everyone else was saying. I think that the like as you pass through like the inside of the house, you can sort of see which era that portion was built in. Like the architectural structure changes a little bit as you're walking through.
I'm gonna use Sight Beyond Sight real quick to ask what is about to happen.
You are all going to be roped into an impromptu performance of Anything Goes from the hit musical Anything Goes,
Why is it about to happen?
because that is what was about to happen before you got here. How you intuited that, I have no idea.
Yeah. What a weird hunch.
What a weird hunch to have. Except I will say you probably hear the music to Anything Goes coming from deeper in the house, as well as you overhear a voice calling from the hallway. Silas? Silas, who was that who drove up just now? Are they here to watch the performance? Silas says you better get your water and go as quickly
What?
as possible.
What is that? What is it? What? Who is that? Is that what?
Performance?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get my water then.
Yeah, I think you probably ought to. That's when you both notice a young woman whose hair has been dyed black and cut very short, wearing a black trench coat and a latex jumpsuit, sitting on a couch. Just sitting there, staring at you all. She looks just like Linnea, if not for the getup.
I take it you're Trinity.
That's right. I'm Trinity.
Oh boy.
So, what's really going on here?
I'm getting water from the kitchen, I would hope.
Why is my sister acting so strange?
Oh.
Because she's faded as hell, if you
Yeah,
will.
she drank a lot last night.
That's not her. That's not her gig. That's not her style. Something else happened.
Sometimes you need a little bit of something to spice it up, you know? Variety, the spice of life, or whatever that
Yeah.
old saying on the cup is.
Hate to throw it out there and sound like a bit of a dick, but typically the kind of folks who are, the goody two shoes, the ones and all that, they tend to party the hardest and suffer immediately from it. So just throwing that out there.
Topher kind of side eyes Nathan at that, like, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
She points at Mr. W. That dog. That's the
Yep.
second time I've seen that dog.
Oh, were you? I don't know.
No, it walked
Where you
by,
were-
just like it's walking by right now.
Okay. Yeah. So the kitchen's over here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's a dog, so he walks. It's kind of what they do.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
You're not in the Matrix.
Not anymore.
What happened to my sister? She says she's following you. Why is she acting so strangely? Why is she sometimes speaking with a voice that is not her own?
I don't know. Maybe the machines found out that she was aware or something.
And she says, "This is the crying circle, isn't it?"
Maybe a little bit.
Samantha was going to play the crying circle. They told me that.
Who told you that?
Samantha and Linnea both did. I thought it was pretty stupid, but I've also heard that that game has real power.
Well, we hadn't heard that last part before, or maybe we wouldn't have done it.
Listen, my dear sweet sister, if she's been possessed by something, I can believe it. She's pure, she's innocent, she's the perfect vessel. If a demon tried to possess me, it would take one look at my fucked up life and run.
Nathan is casually pouring water from the tap, just saying, nobody in this town knows how to talk like a fucking normal person.
But I actually think there's something else going on. Maybe Linnea's waking up from a simulation. Maybe we're the ones in a walking coma, and she's the one who's finally free.
Okay.
Take it from me, I guarantee you we are not in the simulation.
Silas, are you ready? Silas comes into the kitchen. Would you mind just humoring me for a minute?
What's up?
He pulls out a bunch of Cracker Jack hats, like sailors wear.
No.
He's like, she's fucking nuts, but she's sweet in her way. Let's just help me out here, okay?
It's okay. If you don't want to, we can put one of the hats on Mr. W.
Oh, no, she'd love that. She'd love that.
I thought she didn't like animals.
I didn't say that exactly. I said animals have an issue here sometimes. That's what I said. And as long as he doesn't stay very long, it's okay.
Is Linnea here?
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to wear a sailor's hat right now, though. She's resting in her room.
Okay, I look at Topher like, you please handle this. I'm going to go check on Linnea.
Gotcha. I love show tunes.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I don't like performing them.
Meanwhile, Sean and Angela, you find Ashley with this standing in front of this stairwell. Let's just pick up that scene.
Turning around the corner and seeing Ashley, he's about to say something, and then he sees the knife and is just, whoa. Ashley?
Yeah.
Can we put that down?
I wasn't sure who you were. There's murder happening, and I'll just put it. I'm keeping it, but I'll be like, it's fine. I found a secret door. Also, who are you? Hi, I'm Ashley. Ashley
She's like,
Oaks.
Angela Hoskins. I'm
Oh,
here engaged in a ridiculous effort to find my brother who's been missing for 25 years. You know how it goes.
I mean, this
Or
seems like a
20
place
years.
where missing people could go.
Yeah, a secret stairway.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Shall we
Want to
go
see
up?
what's up there, Sean?
Yeah, you're okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, why
Okay.
wouldn't I
Okay.
be okay? It's all fine. And I'll very quickly turn and start going up the
And very
stairs.
quietly, Sean will say, "Not all fine.
What's with the knife? Should we be worried?
A little, probably. Just w-
How
Fuck, I do not miss Deep Lake. Ugh.
yeah, yeah.
how was the sheriff, Sean? Was he
Uh,
fine?
he'll be okay. Yeah, yeah, he'll be okay.
Okay, good.
Thanks. But let's maybe not go into dark tunnels on our own again.
I'm fine. I have a knife.
Of course. Yeah. All right. So what'd you find?
Up the stairs. Going up the stairs, you discover that you are, based off some posters that are on the wall, you realize that you are in the offices of Vertex Electronica, the game company that made Zagreus and a number of other hits, such as 1981's Snack Man, which was absolutely not a direct lift of the more popular and famous Pac-Man. They got away with that for a little bit until in 1982 they put out Mrs. Snackman, and then I feel like the game was pretty much up at that point. They were married though; she was Mrs. Snackman. There was Mouse Puncher from 1983, and a few other, of course, Zagreus, Mouse Puncher 2, The Return of King Rat, so on and so forth. A lot of games, maybe more to learn about. Vertex Electronica. There is quite weirdly damp gray carpeting all throughout. You don't know this, but the place is absolutely dusted with asbestos. Don't hang out long. Black mold growing in the corners. Not great. There's a mess of leftover materials, desks with broken computers, piles of graph paper, scattered notes. Paint the scene. This office looks like it was never cleaned out. What do you see that suggests the place was abandoned in a hurry?
I think there's still some jackets like draped over the chairs, as if someone put it there and had to leave so quickly they didn't even bring their jacket with them.
While the monitors and computer equipment might not be working anymore, it might be without electricity, all of them are still switched to on.
Even though it's been a number of years, the glass panes on the windows still bear the oily prints of people banging on the windows as if trying to get out quickly.
I think that there are a number of chalkboards with a lot of like game design notes and data on it, stuff that people who have been working on these things for as long as they wouldn't want to just leave their entire project behind.
So you see all this, the offices, there's like a big kind of open working space, and there's also some smaller, like, little offices, like, for executives or whatever. There's also a break room as well. And the break room, there's no power to anything right now. You're having to use your phones and whatever ambient lights coming from the windows to see around. But you do hear an arcade cabinet in the break room. You, at a certain point, hear the distinct sound of Hades calling forth his son from the underworld. Zagreus. It seems you found the missing cabinet.
Sean, you still get to play it. Come on. This place doesn't look like it's gonna be raided anytime soon.
Ashley, hold up. Whoever took it might still be here.
She'll bring up the knife.
Just, yeah, stay close.
Okay. Let's do a sweep of the place. Don't see who would want to hang around here for too long, though.
You'll never escape my underworld realm. Ha 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 ha.
Why does this place still have electricity?
I mean, we've seen weirder places that still have electricity.
I hate that you're right.
There must be some kind of generator or something, that's all.
Yeah, generators.
Yeah.
Well, here it is. And she goes into the break room. The break room, there is a round formica top table with steel tube chairs. There's a vending machine with snacks you've never heard of, such as razzmatazz, Crispos, Chips Plus, Sneakers bars, Twinks, and powdered Dunettes. A TV mounted from the ceiling has a VCR duct taped to the underside of it. Paint the scene. What about this space makes you think it was not just a break room, but a rare place of refuge for the employees of Vertex Electronica?
It is the one room in the office complex that if you check the corners, there is not a security camera mounted in here, unlike the rest of the office.
I think through the mold and whatever else is here, we see that the ceiling is tinged a slight yellow, as if people came here for cigarettes regularly.
I think there's the remains of an old grocery store cake box and clear or styrofoam plates left from people gathering in here. Clearly didn't take the food out.
I think that there is a bulletin board basically that has like events that employees are hosting for their other employees to come and hang out with them. Like, let's go to Galaxia Arcade and try out some of the new games together, stuff like that.
Nice. I like it. There are a few other arcade cabinets set up in the break room in addition to the Zagreus. The other ones are not on. Zagreus is actually on. They also have a copy of the 1988 game Serpents and Sepulchres, the arcade game. This is the arcade game version of the famous tabletop role-playing game Serpents and Sepulchres, as well as something called Games Plus from 1990. And then, of course, there's Zagreus, which is on.
I hand Sean some tokens, although I don't think that he needs them. And then I'm gonna eat a twink.
Twinks. the Twinks has been in there the Twinks has probably been there for 15 years.
And they're probably still as good as when they were made.
If I die,
Quote,
I die a hero.
Quote Ashley Oakes, I'm gonna eat a Twinks.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, we'll come back to this scene. Topher, you are led into a room that honestly feels like you go down a hallway that feels like it's a separate part of the house. It just feels eerily disconnected from the rest of the ranch house. And ultimately, you and Trinity and Silas end up in the room of Dolores Rodenbecker. There is a tattered dark blue lazy boy set in front of a TV VCR combo. It's playing recordings of young Dolores's glory days as a singer and dancer. I think when you walk in, Anything Goes has been replaced by a tape of a young, tearful Dolores singing Roy Orbison's Crying. Topher, do you have the Fathomless Well marked? You're muted.
No, I do not. I don't have any Keys of Desolation marked now.
Then instead, everyone's paint the scene. Apart from the videos, how is this place a memorial to Dolores's glory days as a singer and dancer?
I think there are like movie style production posters of like the different plays and shows that she was in that like line the wall. Like they probably even cover the windows.
There are several mannequins wearing very elaborate stage outfits.
Lots of framed headshots and playbills of her productions, all of them signed by her.
A rack displaying a number of dancing shoes from the various years of her childhood, of different sizes, different productions, just displayed, scuffed, but maintained.
I love it. Dolores is there as well. She's wearing a shiny red, white, and blue dancer's leotard and an uncombed auburn wig. They are set off very strikingly against her very, very like wrinkled face and clouded eyes. She looks really, really old. Silas says, he kind of whispers to you. He's like, no one actually remembers how she's related to us. We just call her Cousin Dolores.
Oh, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe a bit. And
Does she
Cousin
not
Dolores
show up in a family tree?
Cousin Dolores says, "Oh, are you here for the performance?"
You bet your sweet bippy I am.
And a dog.
Yeah, this is Mr. W.
It's
Mr. W's wagging his tail.
It's been months and months since they let me have a dog. She reaches down and she pats Mr. W on the head.
Pitbulls can't feel pain, so he likes it. You just think someone's petting him.
What a sweet boy. A sweet, sweet boy. Oh, this is going to be a wonderful performance. I'm so excited. We need an audience, though. Who is going to watch us? What is the point of putting on a grand performance if there's no one there to experience it?
That is a great question. I could watch. You could perform with Mr. W.
Trinity says, "I'll watch." And she sits down in the lazy boy. And Silas says, "God damn it." Nathan, meanwhile, Linnea. She's still dressed as she was last night. Her blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, pink cardigan, chinos. She's laying perfectly still on a twin-size bed, her arms perfectly straight at her sides, looking straight up. Not sleeping, but she doesn't even like acknowledge you as you walk in the room.
I think when Nathan is entering the room, he's saying, "Hey, Linnea, just checking to make sure you're okay," but in a very performative way for everyone else, and he hears because he knows there's something inside her. So like he is going to poke his head in, see this, look over his shoulder, make sure the coast is clear, just kind of like slowly steps in and closes the door behind him, just so it's and then he immediately drops any pretense of trying to converse with Linnea, and he just kind of like, this is when the horror strings kick in, I'm sure, in the soundtrack. It's just that he's just kind of like moving slowly around the periphery of the room, just like looking at Linnea, kind of like step towards the bed a little bit, just like look at her.
Make the meddling move with presence. No, composure. Sorry, composure.
Cool. I'm going to use who lived at Rodenbecker, who lived at Escondido? It was the Rappaports. I am going to use Abigail Rappaport's checked out library book on occult rites to like, as like I open it and I'm like referring to it as I'm like I'm examining her, like this is like WebMD but for demons.
I like it. Go ahead and roll
WebM
with,
demon.
WebM demons.
you could roll with advantage then.
I'm upset I didn't think of that, Steph. Oh, that's so bad. But I mean, with not terrible. It's an 8.
An 8. Your complication is you're going to get pulled into the performance right after you get your clue.
Great.
I'll give you your clue though. Let's see. I think the clue is pretty straightforward. You're looking through the book and you see an entry that says, look for excesses of insects and worms. Such low creatures that crawl upon their bellies are drawn to the demonic. And indeed, you'll notice Linnea is laying on a fine, writhing layer of millipedes and grubs. That's your clue.
Okay.
Did I hear another voice in there? And then, Nathan, you just feel something clamp down on your arm like a vice grip. And you see this old woman wearing this like uncombed auburn wig staring into your eyes, and she says, "Come on, you. There's room for everyone in the chorus line."
I assume I get pulled. I am pulled to the performance. I will note Nathan does have the Fathomless Well marked.
Oh.
If I'm being dragged into this room where you had asked that question.
Indeed, and I think this is good timing because the question just for you,
oh boy,
just being in this space feels like Dolores is somehow draining you of your youth and vitality. How do you experience this?
Am I performing or just watching?
Right now, you're just in the room.
Okay,
The performance has
gotcha.
not started.
Gotcha. It feels like all of the mannequins in the room are staring at Nathan, and the television recording of younger Dolores, it's like she's staring at him too. The photographs of Dolores staring at him. And as she's moving around, there is this kind of cold, tingling sensation at the tips of his fingers, palpitating on the back of his neck. And he feels hyper aware of his joints. Like every one of them wants to just like pop and crack if he gave the effort to it. And looking at Dolores, there's her more sinewy, lithe movements seem a bit more graceful and comfortable in her body. as her joints seem to be free of arthritis.
I'm going to give you a condition, sore joints. We'll come back to this scene. That'll be the last of our day phase when I come back to it, but I'm going to check in with Sean and Ashley. We're wrapping up the day phase. Angela will recommend that you take Zagreus, which you could do. FG doesn't need it anymore.
Sure doesn't.
How are we going to get it out of here?
She's like, well, they've got to have a dolly or something around here. I mean, I don't know. She'll kind of look around for something like that. I mean, how did whoever brought it here get it here?
And up some stairs. Yeah, that's a good point. And Sean's going to look around for whatever
We'll
conveyance.
say you can find a dolly or one of those like flat dollies that you just like, put it on top and then roll it.
Just casually walking through the streets of Deepland, pushing a cabinet.
Zagreus, yeah.
I'll take one of the jackets like over the chair and like put it over.
Yeah.
Like now it's casual.
Like a cloud of mods and asbestos
now
just come off of it.
Now it looks totally fine.
When you unplug the machine, the voice of Hades says, "You will never escape." And then it just goes off. And then you can start getting it out of Vertex Electronica.
I will nudge Sean before we go and say, "You think we can watch a tape on that thing?" And I
On
point
the
at
arcade?
on the VCR.
Oh. And he'll kind of look at it clearly, like just disdain all over his face. And he's like, yeah, we definitely could.
We'll bring everyone else here too.
Oh, fine.
Back at Rodenbecker Ranch, Dolores Rodenbecker is now wearing her crackerjack hat and like a sailor's kerchief, little thing. And she says, "Oh," she's got tears in her eyes. "I'm just so happy that we're all here today for this command performance of Anything Goes. Oh, they don't make them like they used to. These new musicals, they're all about darkness and drama and people dying of diseases. No. They don't have what we had. That sparkle. That love of the limelight. Oh, I knew from the time I could walk and talk that I was going to be a star. I was made for the stage, you see. When I was a little girl, and I would go and watch the shows that occasionally rolled into town, I knew it. Those beautiful dancers laughing gaily and kicking high enough to shame the devil. They spoke to me. They said, "Dolores, baby, you belong up here with us, with the lights and the music and the applause." Daddy never thought I'd amount to anything, but I sure showed him, didn't I? And I would have made it all the way to Hollywood, too, if it hadn't been for the lake. The lake. I never thought I would stop sinking. I just sank down and down into that water. I even thought to myself in the middle of drowning, do they have shows down here? Maybe I can do a little twirl for the catfish. But I lived. Diminished, but not completely snuffed of my light. And then she begins. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking. But now, God knows, anything goes. And she's doing a little tap dance. And then she stops to give you all a chance to put on your little hats and do the tap dance. That is how your day phase ends. Let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll come. Well, let me find out first. Are you watching a tape tonight or no?
We have one tape left, I think.
You do have a tape,
yeah.
Yeah, we could.
I think it would be cool.
Are you going to watch it in Vertex or in Dolores's room?
I
or
don't
back at
think
Escondido Street or wherever you want to go.
I don't think Topher particularly wants to stay here with her dog.
in the creepy old dancer's living room or in the asbestos and mold filled abandoned building. Man, it's a tough one, honestly. I'm fine with whatever we choose to do. I'm actually wondering, since after we decided we're going to watch tape, if we want to go ahead and answer like how to access the secret levels of Zagreus, because we have.
That would be cool to do. If we do that, like while we're like we try to figure out how to access the secret levels.
You could be playing Zagreus while
we watch the tape. That would be awesome. Yeah. That would be so cool.
You'd have to watch the tape at Rodenbecker Street, but you'd still be able to do it.
I mean, maybe we could take
we could take Zagreus back to Rodenbecker after we watch the tape, right?
I was thinking maybe we're deciding like, oh wait, it's full day.
Oh, before you leave, you get everybody over to Vertex. And
maybe it's that like Sean, Ashley, and Angelica were like, okay, we can't find a way to get this. Like Nathan and Topher end up coming over with like I rent like a U-Haul, like one of those like simple like single storage U-Hauls just to help move it over to the house. I'm all for it. Nathan's not super stoked to be watching a tape in a place filled with things that are hazardous to his health. But
to be fair, we don't know it's asbestos.
But think the black of the free Twigs. Think of the free snacks.
No, you've got Twinks, you've got Snacks Plus and Sneakers.
Yeah.
Nathan's like the last time someone told me that a place was full of free Twinks, I did not go.
And that was your mistake. So correct it now.
I'm so down to watch a tape.
Hell yeah.
And not only just because it's one of the tapes I wrote.
Tape being watched and game being played in abandoned offices of video game company. I love
everything happening in this night phase is directly Xander's doing.
You're going to have to answer this question, though, about how to access the secret levels. So do you need a minute to think about that, or do you all have a theory right now? That is it's only complexity 2, so.
And we have 2 clues left.
Yeah.
Well, that's good at least. I think we can probably take like a little break and think about it a bit because these are pretty vague clues.
Yeah, we'll take 5. All right. But also, while we're on break, also look at the prompts for the tape as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the desk phase. We are going to try to answer. Well, let's just go through our steps here. Make sure I'm doing everything in order. Okay. You've decided you're going to watch an Odyssey tape in Vertex Electronica. And now let's attempt to answer the question, which is, how do we access these vaunted secret levels in Zagreus? You have 2 clues. The input lag between action and resolution, and a crystalline key is welded onto the motherboard of Zagreus. That feels like the important clue. What do we think?
I will say I will add additional context to my nostalgic clue because I thought about it a moment ago. I think the intention that I meant for it was that it's like the input lag is like the kind where it's like you can cancel out actions, if you like. Do something quick enough before the input goes over to the next one. That kind of thing where it's like, oop, I'm it's like an Elden Ring. Like I'm going to dodge. Actually, nope, never mind. Spam my controller. I'm not going to do that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Well, so who wants to say how to do it then?
Well, I was thinking that it had to do with so the input lag if you input enough commands or a specific string of commands in between that input lag, then a little latch will open on the back of the machine and show the crystalline key on the motherboard. At which point you need to take that off, put it into another little slot that opened on that same panel, twist it, and boom, secret levels.
Turns into a goddamn puzzle box. Like it's like the
Yeah.
lament configuration where it's like there's like a turning puzzle solution where you get to pull it out.
Welcome
that's
to
actually
Glass Onion,
rad.
Public Access Edition.
I have nothing to add to that. I think that's rad as hell.
Yeah,
Turning
like
it into a puzzle box.
Yeah, it's really great. If there's no objections, Topher, why don't you go ahead and roll flat roll?
For sure. 5.
5. That means it's wrong. And indeed, if you don't bump it up, there's going to be a strong reaction that comes with that this night phase as well. So what do we all think? You can, one person who might need it can mark, if we have
Palace.
Yeah, you can mark the Key of the Palace. That is an event that's available on Zagreus.
Who has the most keys marked? Because they should probably take the palace.
I have 5 keys marked.
That's probably the
Dang.
most, but
no,
yeah.
Sean
is
has
quite a few.
6. Sean
Oh,
has
Sean
6.
has 6. Yeah.
I will
have
say
the full one.
Yeah, I really think it's going to be cool to play this cabinet during the night phase while watching a tape. So I'd like to mark a mask, but I'm not going to, cry over spilled milk if we're like,
Well,
"Nah,
don't
let's not
forget,
do that."
you'll all eventually be able to, if you save that one condition long enough, you'll be able to unmark either Fathomless Well or Fathomless Well and Chromatic Desert, right?
True.
Yeah, so that
True.
like you can kind of push towards those and then unmark them whenever you clear that condition. So
So we think we're going to mark masks?
I'm going to mark the Sandstone Arch.
all right. Oh, that means you have signals from the other side available to you now as well.
Yeah. I love echoes.
Ben, are you going to take Key of the Palace?
No,
No, very
No.
good. What are you gonna take
I'm
instead?
going to the Chromatic Desert.
Chromatic Desert. What? That's like you don't get to interact with the group if you take it. Wow. When do you want that to kick in? Like before playing Zagreus or during or
You get
Oh.
sucked into the game.
yeah, are you getting sucked
That-
into the game? Like what's happening here?
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Oh, that's
Love
so
that.
awesome. We're
Very
going to
good.
forget that Sean exists.
I know,
Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
we're going to
literally-
forget.
You're gonna
Oh
forget.
no.
It's like he never existed.
No one listens to me anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh! It's going to be so... Oh, I'm also excited to see what happens. Like I know that I'm going to want to mark Chromatic Desert again. I'm excited to see like interactions between two chromatic deserted people. Like one that one person that the other person remembers, but the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
big changes.
Jazzy, what mask are you marking? Or key are you turning?
I am shell shocked. I think I will also do the Sandstone Arch because I want to question. I'm sorry, there's no Ashley lore today. There's
That's-
only sadness.
I'm thinking I want to hold on to the Key of the Palace. I'm going to mark the Wandering Monolith.
Wait, so Sean, the only thing is like, are you able to mark Chromatic Desert? Because you have to mark them in order.
He's
I
had the
am-
Wandering Monolith for a couple sessions.
Oh,
You marked
you
it a
just
while
weren't.
ago.
Oh, you just weren't at Dolores's. That's why you didn't answer that
Hmm.
one question. Okay. All right. Well, the result is 7-9 now. You are correct, and you get. Let's see whenever that one unlocks, what happens? Okay, so you now have access to press start. You have a new move called press start. I'll read it to you. I'll clip it here as well for you all, just so you can kind of follow along a little bit. It says, when you play a game of Zagreus in an attempt to beat a secret level, roll with composure or reason, your choice, minus the number of boxes marked below. That's for me to track. On a hit, you mark the first unmarked box below and collect that level's prize. On a 10 plus, you also find a clue. On a miss, you do not mark a box. You use up all your lives and take the condition obsessed with death. If you're already obsessed with death, you turn a key. Once a secret level is beaten, it's beaten for any latchkey who uses this move. In other words, as you move through the levels, you don't have to go back and play them again, basically. The first level is going to be available to you now that you have figured out how to do it. That all sounds really fun. Let's keep going with our phase. If anybody wants to do their key prompts, let's talk about the one that everybody has to. Oh, wait, nobody marked it. No, nobody marked it. Okay, well, forget that. And then instead, I'll introduce the Odyssey tape. The last one that you have so far. Neighborly Living 03, Cooking for Your Community, Pure White Extreme. The tape is an episode of Neighborly Living, a lifestyle and home improvement show that aired on TV Odyssey. The episode opens on Paula Palmer, a middle-aged housewife wearing a hot pink blouse and blue pencil skirt, as she arranges a bouquet of flowers in a glass vase before welcoming the viewers to her program. Everyone paints the scene. Prompt 2 will be for Ben. Prompt 3 will be for Alex. Prompt 4 will be for Jesse. We'll take a quick 3-minute break, come back and do our night phase. The 6 of you are at Vertex Electronica. That's including Angela Hoskins and Mr. W. Sean is still with us. You're in the office. The break room has power, and so there's a kind of sickly yellow light in the break room. You've managed to raid the snack machine of all the sneakers and powdered dunettes. And you pop the tape into the VCR that is duct taped to the television hanging from the ceiling. And press play.
Episode of Neighborly Living, a lifestyle and home improvement show that aired on TV Odyssey. And we see the host, Paula Palmer, middle-aged housewife. Every episode begins with her sitting in her living room, reading from an old recipe book and paging through thoughtfully. And then she looks up and says, "Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm Paula Palmer. Welcome to Neighborly Living." And she gets up and she leaves the living room. But as she walks toward her destination, we see that the hallway she's walking through is painted on plyboard that's just a little too short for the camera's frame. And we see the darkness of the stage behind.
We see as she continues walking, making her way to the kitchen, we see that every window is the same very generic light coming through some trees view, and it's very clearly a poster that's just been like copied in very low quality. That's just been painted on, and there's no telling where this is happening or where it's supposed to be set, really.
The lighting in the house proper is not what you'd expect from the interior of someone's actual home, not of bulbs of soft light, but fluorescent lighting that has been, maybe, we cannot see it, but we can assume, taped over with some yellow or creamy colored filament covering, just to give this fluorescent harsh lighting a bit of a more homely look, but it is noticeably harsh.
And as Paula walks to the front door of the set, we see on one of the walls, right, just poking out from beneath a poster for Anything Goes, we see a bunch of wires suggesting that people were, putting mics and stuff through the wall, but they needed to cover it up.
Sean, you know the process by which you believe will unlock the secret levels. You're the video game guy. And so you do the little puzzle box thing. You get the crystal key as planned. You pop it in. You turn the key. It triggers something, some switch on the board, which changes the title screen from Zagreus to Zagreus, the secret levels. It literally says that. They programmed it in there. Zagreus, secret levels. The three of you and Angela hear the arcade announce the secret levels. You haven't even done the thing with the key yet. It's like it's just there waiting on you, ready to go.
Topher, you're good at games. You want to take a look?
I mean, yeah. Something feels weird. We got everyone, right?
I thought we had to pop open the box and turn the key.
I thought so too. Everyone's here, right? There's Mr. W, there's Angela,
Yeah.
there's Ashley.
Yeah, everyone's here.
I
me.
jumbled it
No,
earlier
that's-
when I was here with
When
Yeah,
you were
I
here with
jumbled it
Angela?
earlier.
Yeah, you and Angela
Yeah,
came down here.
yeah.
You were mentioning that.
maybe.
She's like, well, yeah,
I'm
I
not
saw
loose.
you. Yeah, you and I came down into the tunnels and
Hey, I hate to be the one throwing bad ideas into the mix. Just kidding. I love doing that. Not really. What if Adafoy was here?
maybe that's
Who?
who's
Attaboy.
missing.
Maybe.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah. One of us was, yeah, Adafoy.
Well,
Someone
must
was
have
getting
been.
someone
well,
was
yeah,
getting
that's
messaged. Yeah.
well, that's why I'm here, because he was
Yeah.
harassing me on that
Yeah.
forum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe Adafoy was here, is here.
He's still here. He
Still
is here. We gotta. Oh, if I see that guy, oh,
I don't know what their deal is, but all right.
oh, look, I think the level's ready to go.
Oh, awesome.
She's like, oh, Vertex Electronica. They lifted the sprite, the Link sprite from Legend of Zelda. Cool. Flips across.
Yeah, but it looks like they like palette swapped him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he wearing
got like
khaki pants?
I mean,
A t-shirt?
Khaki shorts?
it's so hard to tell with these little
It's
boxy.
I don't.
Graphics.
8-bit art is not my specialty. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
You're an
used
artist.
to asking.
Yeah. All right, Topher, you're up.
All right.
Angela presses play on the tape. Because she's not sure why we paused it in the first place. Maybe just reacting to the arcade coming on.
episode begins proper in Paula's kitchen for a cooking segment, she looks up at the camera and she puts down her cookbook and she says, you know, it is so important to break bread with those we share so much of our lives and fences with, especially those we share fences with. Even if their lovely little children insist on playing their little games outside. Sounds of children screaming just liven everything up, doesn't it? Doesn't it make it feel real? Don't you think? The screeching, the cavorting, it just makes one feel so very vital. And it's only right to make sure our neighbors know how much we appreciate what they bring to our neighborhood. We'll make them a very special meal. What do you say, gang?
Pause. This tape is really fucking weird. Why are we watching this?
It's not the weirdest one we've seen, honestly.
Yeah,
All
no, there
right.
was this one. It was like, I don't know, there was a fucking freaky kid in it.
Yeah,
His
whatever.
head like split open. It was
Come
weird.
on. We're supposed to figure out what happened to my brother and his friends, right? Let's do this.
Yeah, I was about to say, the tapes don't need to play into that. That's a whole side explanation.
You begin the first level. The first secret level is called the Descent. Our not Link character is blooping and blopping across 8-bit rendered pastoral fields. There's a dark cave up ahead. There are friendly NPCs. This particular level requires you to solve a series of simple adventure game puzzles to enter the underworld. You'll get to do the role in a bit, but let's do what's called paint the screen. The paint the screen question is, what do you see that makes you think the pixelated characters on this level are in distress?
They are running around screaming, but in a way that looks like they are jubilant with celebration, like that's the context of the scene, but the sound, the 8-bit rendered scream is disconcertingly stress inducing, and there's something uncanny about their it's off-putting.
The
All of
soundtrack.
the-
Oh, my bad. The
You go ahead.
soundtrack in the background it's very upbeat and happy. But as soon as you get close to one of the NPCs, it distorts and it starts playing like a single tone, deep tone, just.
At first, it seems like they're all holding a weapon, like some kind of tiny knife. And then when you actually look closer, the knife went right through their hands.
I think Sean might have a different perspective here, where the NPCs look like they're just walking past the Link-like character. This is all very real for Sean right now, confusingly, alarmingly real. And every person that he passes is grabbing for him and pleading in strange 8-bit tones that he can't quite make out, but he can see the distress on their faces.
Yeah, this game is super fucking weird. I can't decide if I'm more freaked out by this or this tape that we're watching here for some reason right now. And Angela
Like a
presses
yin and
play.
yang effect.
Yeah, this is crazy. Well, no one can't say that the three of you aren't interesting. Four of you, sorry, Mr. W. And she presses play.
Paula is pulling her casserole dish from the oven with her dainty little embroidered pink oven mitts and setting it carefully down upon the counter as we hear the very much not actually real doorbell, a sound effect that's clearly played on a sound stage. Bing bong. And Paula looks at the camera and says, well, I wonder who that could be. Oh, company's early. How wonderful. Friends, I think it is crucial to any important daily life as a neighbor to always welcome your fellow community members to accompany you for a fine communal meal. Let's go see who's here. She walks over to the door and opens it. She is standing, cheating out to the camera very presentorially as she swings the door open. And sitting in the doorway is a family of 4, a mother and father, very white picket fence suburban couple. The father's wearing a sweater vest, a tie, kind of Ned Flanders glasses and mustache combo. And the mother is in a lovely little yellow sundress. And there are 2 children, the adorable Billy and Veronica. And Paula says, why, it's the Galdersons. There is an applause sound effect that plays off stage, kind of lingers too long. And she turns to them and says, and looking at the 2 parents, Tracy, Richard, and little Billy and Veronica, welcome. How are you all doing this fine afternoon? And Richard says, oh, we're doing great. How are you doing, kids? And Billy says, I'm hungry. And Veronica says, me too. What are we gonna eat? And Paul says, oh, now, children, let's be patient. I just took the casserole out and I'm about to put the cupcakes in the oven. Can I get anyone refreshments? And Tracy and Richard open their mouths to speak, but Billy and Veronica are already like running in, like laughing, smiling, admiring the whole house. They run over to a cupcake dish that is on the counter that is filled up with a dark crimson red velvet batter that is still liquefied, has not been put in the oven yet. And they're like, wow, my favorite. And they both dip their fingers into the cupcake batter and like lick their fingers and like, it's delicious, Miss Palmer. And you see that the camera's been focusing on the children, but one of the decorative vases on set flies across the scene and shatters against a nearby wall. And like the camera quickly like rotates as if the camera operator's not sure what just happened. And Paula looks furious and she's like, stop it. And she stomps over to the kids and grabs them really harshly by the wrist. And the kids look scared and confused. And she says, it's not ready yet. You stick your filthy fingers in my batter. Rude, impolite, disgusting. Wash your hands. Miss Palmer, we just wash your hands. And she like runs the water and they begin to like scrub and she's just glaring at them. Then she looks back at the camera. Children. Am I right? Better seen and not heard, of course. Please. All right. Where was I? Lemonade?
Angela pauses the tape. Yeah. Super weird.
Rough. My mom's in this tape.
You're lying. No, that is not true.
That is
not
no,
true.
that was sorry, that was a joke. That was a joke. That's not my actual mom. Sorry.
Topher.
And I think I will hop over to Topher and I'm like, because you're still playing, right? I'm like giving you a little massage and I'll break a Twix for you so you can eat it like you're doing some kind of really big sports match.
I love it.
Thanks, pit crew.
Zagreus, water girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so per the move, press start. You have to choose composure or reason, your choice, and then you will roll at your composure or reason -1. So whatever that is. And then we'll see how you did.
Well, either way, it's a flat roll.
All right.
We'll say it's with composure.
Okay.
That is a 9.
A 9. On a hit, or no, actually, that shouldn't have been. It should not have been -1. It should have been a flat, just whatever. What would it have been without the -1?
Oh, then it's a 10.
Okay. So now you've completed the descent, and you also get a clue as well as you're playing the game. But I just want to know about how playing the game goes. You have to solve this series of simple adventure game puzzles to enter the underworld. What does that look like?
So I think that first Topher has the little not Link character go over to one of the NPCs. After some short dialogue, probably like a text box or two, Topher then goes to there is a door in one of the walls in this room in the game, and or maybe no, it's an open field, but there's a door standing in the middle of it. That's better. Topher takes the character over to it and equips a knife from the inventory and stabs it 6 times, which then the door opens and a big like staircase going down deep opens up.
Sean, how do you experience this?
I think he can't quite process what is happening at this point. It's like things are happening to him that he's not in control of anymore, and he is just trying very hard not to freak out, and yeah, just hold on to his self.
Angela says, "Oh, looks like you beat this level. Your little score's coming up now. I don't know if that's good or not. Isn't that weird how they give you these scores, but they don't tell you like what you're actually aiming for or what the point of any of it is?"
Yeah, and I don't, man, it's kind of weird. So I looked at I played this game earlier, right? Around the first time it came to Galaxia, I checked it out at least. The character's name wasn't always Sean, right?
No, I think originally it was literally called Zagreus, but
Yeah, like
Maybe if
right,
you get like
right
a
above
high
the.
score,
well, I don't
maybe
know.
you have to like put your name
It's
in.
probably just what you put in when you're like, it's probably just whoever
Yeah.
played it last. You just put your name
Yeah.
in there. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
when you play Zelda, no one actually leaves the character
You're-
name Link.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
No, you enter your own name. That's all this is. Cool. Well, and then she's like, "I have to know what's going on with that cooking show Psychopath." And she presses play.
The screen shows Paula and she's smiling. We see just barely off frame, we see the two parents slumped over in their plates, not moving. And we just see Paula smiling for a few moments too long as she looks straight into the camera and she says, "Communal dining is the cornerstone of civilization. As soon as we stepped out of the caves, we started dining together. In fact, it's always been a sacred thing amongst many people. Because of that, do remember that impoliteness cannot be tolerated. Asking for anything else that the host has provided, like," and she kind of glances off screen as now that she's taken a second to not talk, we hear sobbing of the children, and it increases in volume a little bit as she glances off camera and she says, "Asking for candy bars when someone has done so much work to prepare the perfect dessert is not acceptable. Remember," she looks back into the camera, "remember, the quality of your guests reflects on the quality of the host, and therefore, only perfection can be tolerated." only perfection will remain. And she steps up. She steps away from the table as she grabs the serving knife. It glints in the fluorescent light, and she steps off frame.
I will ask very quickly. Jason, a while ago, you told me that Nathan would see someone from his past in the next Odyssey tape he watched. So now I'm before I forget.
Do you have anybody in mind?
I'm open to anything.
Okay.
Isabella. Isabella.
I'm open to anything.
Remind me who Isabella is.
His ex-girlfriend
Oh yeah.
that left.
Oh yeah.
The one whose Tamagotchi he doesn't have anymore.
That's right. Yeah. The tape has one last bit. There is a scene of the Vertex Electronica offices, except there are a bunch of people milling around, kind of looking a little harried, if I'm being honest, like they're under a lot of pressure. One person, Nathan, looks up directly into the camera. "It's your father." He winks. And then the scene continues on as a Vertex employee is like beckoning the cameraman over to the lab where they're working on games. And he shows the cameraman Zagreus. And he beckons the camera to zoom in close on the Zagreus cabinet. Indeed, the Zagreus cabinet controls. And he starts moving the controls, the joystick and the buttons. Down, up, right, left, A, B, start. And then the tape cuts to blue. Angela says, "Well, that was probably important."
Yeah. Try punching that in, Topher.
Yeah. Fuck it. Konami code. Do it.
You go to punch in the code. It's reverse Konami code. And puzzle box style, the little panel where the title of the arcade is, the glowing, like name plate, like slides out and spins and reverses and then lights up. Now it's called Zagreus, the Labyrinth.
Huh. Well, that's pretty cool.
Sean, tell us about what it's like to be in the underworld of Zagreus.
There's a moment where I think the transitions between the levels are pretty much exactly the same inside the cabinet as they are outside. There's just black surrounded by nothing for a moment, and then slowly everything will kind of fill in as it loads. And I think it's weirdly quiet except for the sound of running water.
Nice. That'll conclude the night phase. Let us go over to the dawn. No rewards to collect yet. However, we can go ahead and answer dawn questions. We have not resolved a mystery yet, so no one's getting that one. However, Ashley, did you get a signal from the other side?
I was going for the candy bars.
Oh
Haven't
yeah,
made it in.
yeah, that was really good. I noted that when you said it. Were you vulnerable with someone?
Uh, I don't think so.
Did you cut loose for once?
I also don't think that I did that. No.
Nathan, did you receive a signal from the other side?
Yeah, my paint the screen question, the screaming
Oh
people, the
yeah.
screaming children mentioned in the tape. Yeah.
Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
Yeah, I wanted to go divert my attention to something normal with the slumber party summoning circle and work with some locals.
Yeah, I'll take that because you expressed that you didn't want to do it initially.
Yeah, and it was like I wanted to like anchor myself to something in Deep Lake that seemed mundane.
Did you share a
relatively.
good memory from your childhood?
I don't know if I did.
Topher, did you receive a signal from the other side?
Yeah, anything goes.
That's right. Did you share a good memory from your childhood?
When Topher basically first got Mr. W, sharing that with Nathan.
Oh yeah. Were you vulnerable with someone?
Similarly with Nathan, being like, man, my dog disappeared and became a ghost, and now it's back, and that's freaking me out.
I love it. Sean, did you receive a signal from the other side?
The way Paula kept stressing on how real eating with your neighbors makes things, or the screaming children makes things feel, and then Sean in his predicament.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's subtle. It's good though. Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
I was going for that with the visiting the sheriff.
Yeah. There's the vulnerable thing. Were you vulnerable with someone?
I ended up being vulnerable with the sheriff about his anger and everyone
Yeah,
getting hurt when he
yeah,
leaves.
I think it was a good scene overall. I like it. Great. Let's keep on going. Mark Dudon questions if you wish, and then do we have any keys that are still outstanding that need to be done? No.
No,
Okay.
we all marked desolation.
Well, we're a little past time, so if anybody has to go, you can just go ahead and go. It's fine. But otherwise, let's do stars and wishes. Whoever wants to go first, take it away.
Yeah. This was a really fun session, getting to also start doing Slumber Party Summoning Circle. I was really enjoying that. Big star to Jason's performance of Anything Goes there. Absolutely creepy and enthralling. I loved that. I love Dolores Rodenbecker in the worst possible way. She's so scary. Yeah, Startup Ben fucking gutting us with your chromatic desert. Having the whole just like, and also having the decision to like do it during the game was choice. Yeah, I did love that scene between you and Sheriff Hanscom as well. Plus a little tidbit of him being like angry at the group that morning, being like, that was dumb. That was dumb. Should have seen that coming. Steph having Topher back in action, like with the group, is really cool, and getting to have Nathan and Topher actually get to like go around and do things together was really cool. Was really awesome. I particularly loved seeing how real Mr. W assists things now, as opposed to being weird glitch dog. And Jazzy, I really enjoyed first of all just the blatant, yep, I'm gonna go in the sewers by myself, grab a knife, and this is all fun and good and fine, and but also just you're angling to frame someone else for a murder you probably committed. Wild. Love that for us. And then in general star, I fucking love the introduced element of the Zagreus cabinet being like a lament configuration, like puzzle box aspect. It's so cool. I love puzzle boxes, so that's just really cool. And wishes, well, terrified that we watched another tape, and I know what that means. Terrified to found out about that. I'm looking forward to using the Wandering Monolith. None of us have done that yet, and I want to go seek out the big man and get some clues from him.
We haven't seen Big Man in a while, so yeah. Except in the Stinger, but yeah.
I also wanted to start the chromatic desert. I think that's such a good moment. I love the chromatic desert. I don't know if you could tell, but I think it's such a cool like narrative device, and I'm especially thrilled with how like we worked it in this time. Like the themes of self-sacrifice with the chromatic desert in our playthrough is very high up there. Like it's so good. Uh, I am in love with Ashley's spiral. I truly hope that she doesn't die. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll get arrested. Probably get arrested. Let's be real. I don't think any of the latchkeys would help her cover up a murder necessarily. Uh, Mostly just because, like, uh, well, the one that would just got
I
chromatic
was gonna say,
desert.
Sean was totally helping her
Yeah.
cover it up. Yeah.
Yeah. The one who was gonna help cover up the murder and was like, "No, this is fine. My
Well,
boyfriend's a
glad
cop."
to know who has my back and who's a damn snitch.
Well, except
Hey,
the one that had
Topher's
your
not
back
gonna say
doesn't
anything.
exist anymore.
Yeah. Topher's not gonna say anything. Just gonna be like, "Hey, I'm not touching a dead body. Are you shitting me?" um. Also, I love the Sean being in Zagreus and your descriptions of like what it was to be in the game. I'm very excited for Topher to go back into the game and I guess meet Sean for the first time in a weird way. Once Topher marks Chromatic Desert again, because we established that Topher can just go in and out of Zagreus when they're deserted. So I'm very excited about that. That leads into another wish, and I am also very excited and intrigued to see how Sean tries to interact with Sheriff Handsome after this, because like he still has his phone number. Ghost calls. I think that's cool. I think that's great. It's also very fucking sad, and it makes me cry.
I'll go next. I had a great time this session. It was really fun. I love that I finally got to put Slumber Party on the table because that's the other one that I wrote, and so it was really enjoyable to get started on that. I love Dolores Rodenbecker, so I was happy I got a chance to play her. I yeah, this was a great session, and I think just a lot of cool things happened. I really enjoyed this like weird, like how Zagreus became like weirdly analog, which was kind of fun, which actually kind of fits the whole analog like horror thing, but in like a different interpretation of analog, which is kind of fun with the like little puzzle door and then the cabinet itself being a puzzle box. That was really cool. It was a neat little kind of dichotomy, I guess. The scene where Nathan is no, not Nathan, where Alex, where you did the what was it? You did a couple of cool things today. You had your well, okay, so your little thing as Paula was great. I really enjoyed the Paula Palmer segment and kind of learning about that character. That was especially fun because you wrote that character, so that was a really kind of a fun thing to see. And yeah, just a lot of great role play there. Very much enjoyed. I appreciated the choice to take Ashley down into the tunnels like by herself. I thought that just felt really appropriate for the character. And there was something like extra weird about doing all that and then waiting for the others. Like it almost like gave Ashley, like it kind of like subtly reinforced this idea of Ashley being like a dangerous person, which was kind of like strange in a way. So I really love that. It was very fun to see Topher back in the world, like in the physical world, and um, yeah, I quite enjoyed all that, and it was just a good like it was kind of an interesting reintroduction almost of the character into the vibe and the setting of the place, and I really liked it. I loved all the stuff that everyone did with like the two Rodenbecker siblings. That was really fun. I liked everyone's reaction to Trinity and her eccentricity. Eccentricity clearly runs in that family. It's like a thing that the Rodenbeckers have to deal with, eccentricity. And so that was just great. enjoyable fun. And yeah, Sean disappearing via the chromatic desert at that moment was really appropriate for Sean specifically as a character because of the video game thing, and it just really changed the story in a really profound way. Like it's just kind of wild to have to forget a character. So yeah, it was a good time all around. And my wish is I'm excited for everyone to keep playing Zagreus. I think that'll be fun to kind of see what where that goes. I'm excited to see what you do when you learn what Linnea Rodenbecker's been up to. And yeah, and very excited to see how Sean interacts with the world while being there, not there. So yeah.
Yeah,
Stars for me.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed the vulnerable move, or the nostalgic move between Topher and Nathan. It was really good. The stuff, the scene you painted with Topher having all the sheets up just felt really great, considering everything that Topher had experienced and saw. And I look forward to maybe seeing a bit of that as well. Just Ashley being this wild card at this point, who may or may not have actually killed someone, and running around the tunnels under the city with a knife. It's just a great, we've come so far in 7 episodes, from sweetly baking brownies and mugs to running around with a murder weapon. Just great. And yeah, Dolores Rodenbecker, I recently ran Slumber Party Summoning Circle for some pals, and I love Dolores so much. I'm looking forward to seeing her more in the game. And Jason, yeah, that performance was really, really good. Yeah, wish, just looking forward to seeing how things are for Sean in the Chromatic Desert. I knew I was pretty sure I was going to do it when I figured I told the sheriff that I'll call him later, which is basically like saying I'll be right back. So he had to go. And I'm glad I got the opportunity.
Yeah, I think for me, I echo all the stars that's been said, but I'll try to pick out something else. Um, for Steph, I really loved that little detail that you brought up. Like, wait, was the character's name always Sean? And just like these little details that you put in of like us feeling something is off, but not knowing what, which I also think is very interesting because that puts every other thing that we've been feeling is off in like a very different light. Because maybe, there's a bunch of stuff that we don't remember that has happened to us, and we know that there's a time loop going on. So I think that's just a very interesting thing to consider. Um, I guess sort of in that same vein, Alex, I really like that you said that Nathan gets like all these hunches. And like the way that you described it to me felt like Nathan thought it wasn't him knowing the future, it was him like getting deja vu, which like giving the time loop that he was in almost feels like maybe Nathan thinks like this is happening to me all the time. Like everything that I think like, wait, that's going to happen is because I've already done it. Which
Oh
I know
no,
you
that's a great
totally, yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was like as soon as he said, I was like, "Oh, is that what he's going for?" That is so good. That is so messed up.
No, but it's what I'm going
Um,
for now.
yeah, I really loved that. That was super cool. Yeah, for Ben, I mean, it's been said, but it's so good. But something else that I really love is I love that Sean tried to cover for Ashley. And like in a very direct way, like not just not saying anything, but like actually going as far as to lie to the sheriff about it to protect her, which is, a little bit further than just being like, I'm not sure. I don't want to implicate my friend. And I thought that said a lot about Sean, which is very sweet. And I love Trinity. She's the best. I just love her so much. She's so cool. I want to interact with her all the time. I really want her and Ashley because the vibes are gonna be so contrasting, and it's just gonna be like the sunshine grumpy vibes that we deserve. So I gotta find a way to make that happen. I also really like. I keep. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting her name, but the sister of the guy, one of the people that disappeared. I really like that
Angela.
you brought her in, Angela. Yeah, I love that she's now here and that she watched the tape with us. And it feels like so like what are you doing here?
Well, she's like the fourth
Like why
latchkey
are you
now, right?
so
She's like the
Yeah,
fourth
that's our
latchkey.
fucking latchkey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's
She's
always
being
been here. What do
harassed
you
by
mean?
Attaboy 85, right? Yeah.
exactly. Like I thought that was so fun and just I feel like if it had happened earlier, like all of us would have been like, "You're very weird, lady. Why are you just like tagging along?" But like everyone is so far gone, they're just like, "Nah, come watch this weird ass tape with us. Let's play this weird game in this rated room." And I just really love how far we've all come. For wishes, I am so interested to see how Sean not being here is gonna change everything because let's be honest, Sean was our only brain cell and the heart of this group. And we are so fucked that he is not here anymore. So I'm just very interested to see how much more of the rails we're gonna go and how Sean is going to cope with that and going to try and keep us together. I don't know. Um I'm just very interested in all of that. And also, yeah, in seeing the consequences of Ashley's actions. I think it's really cool that we have this like that it's like so up in the air. I think that's really interesting and how that's gonna affect Ashley as well.
Yeah, I have one lingering star slash wish I'll throw out there in light of that. Having Sean be experiencing being like Jumanji'd into the game, um, knowing what the other levels of the game are gonna be, I am very terrified and excited to see Sean have to deal with that.
Actually
everyone?
raises a question. Could I still do press start?
I don't see why not. The game could play itself, right?
That's really cool.
Are there any other stars or wishes? Okay. Then we will wrap up the session with a shot of Escondido Street in Deep Lake. Very colorful. The sun is bright. The sky is almost like technicolor blue. Everything pops with color. We see Paula Palmer walking down the sidewalk, her pink blouse very vivid, and she's wearing an apron. And she's whistling a little happy tune as she practically skips down the sidewalk. And she stops at one point and holds her hand up, and a little bird lands on her finger, and she sings in harmony with the bird. She whistles while it does its little call, and then she sends it on its way. And she keeps walking down Escondido Street, and Patient's head is there trimming her hedge, and she waves. And then Sheriff Hanscom's truck drives by, and they wave at each other. A bunch of dancers wearing Crackerjack sailor outfits are dancing on the street in Escondido Street. The whole town has practically come out for Paula Palmer. She is the center of her Snow White, perfect suburban fairy tale. And they all watch her as the music swells, as she approaches Escondido Street and goes inside, where it is still quite dusty and dingy and dark. And we hear Thump, thump, thump. Thump, thump, thump. From deeper in the house, Paula says, "Don't worry. Everything's just about ready." Thump, thump, thump. Thump, thump, thump. She walks closer. She doesn't notice Elliot Rappaport hiding behind the couch. Thump, thump, thump. She gets right up to the closet door where someone is banging on the other side of it. "I'm hungry." "What are you doing inside there?" "But don't you worry. Dinner's almost ready. We're going to have plenty to eat.